Hi. Thank you to everybody who decided to contribute to the Summer Paint Horror Art Contest. It's obviously now closed. I thought it would be time for us to have a look at the entries and end on the winner. So, in no particular order, we're going to be starting with Ink Loaded Bullet. Now, this one's quite cool. If you've never been in the server before, our Discord server, Ink Loaded Bullet is one of they love to contribute pretty much all the time to the art zone area, which is where a lot of the artists kind of get together. They share their artwork, inspirations, ideas, and stuff like that. It's really really interesting. But they've always got this very specific and awesome design. It's always really cool to see. It gives off Cronenberg meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm talking about with that. There's also like this level of like heavy anime presence, like whenever you see like a proper strong villain. I'm definitely getting a lot of those mixed vibes, which is interesting. There's always some really interesting just just designs that go on with this, and there's always some cool text. Usually, in this one, it's "I am the crooked angel who slumbers under your bed." That's not really an angel I would want to see under my bed personally, but you do you, you know? Just awesome. Next up, we have Ginger Radios, and this one immediately kind of made me think of like a teenage kind of a show that you would see probably like some kind of an animated thing where there's usually kind of an adventure vibe going on, maybe mystery and a little bit of spookiness, maybe like a little hint of like Junji Ito or something. And initially, you get the cool eye triangle thing, which then makes me think of the Eye of Providence. You're talking about Illuminati conspiracies and blah blah blah. But and then you see just in the corner that there's that cheeky little Bill Cipher, and I'm like, Gravity Falls, great show, great show. Totally understand what's going on here now. Really, really good. I could tell you're a fan too. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything. Really good show. And then in the background, you've got like the creepy little like mystery faces going on. It's just like, oh my god, what kind of secrets are going on? Well, they're all kind of spooky, horrific in a way. It's really cool. Really, really well done. Next up, we have Mr. Chupsa, which you can see here. You got this fairly good-sized jellyfish, and I think sadly he didn't quite get a fair enough shake because what you have to understand is that the jellyfish isn't the only thing in this picture. Although the jellyfish does look quite distressed, maybe it's been escaping from something or whatever. But you have to understand that if you really kind of break down in the background, you can see there's potentially a giant mouth, for example, almost like a giant creature is about to swallow this jellyfish whole. And it's very easy to not see that, but it really you really got to take the time to just kind of dissect what's going on in the picture. I think it's just a great concept of horror in any kind of sense because this little creature you're looking at, he's about to die. It's it's sad. It's horrific. Could be bloody. Who knows? But it's that moment before potential death, isn't it? It's crazy. It's like whenever you get whenever people have got pictures or videos of like a disaster situation just moments before it happens and you can see it coming. It's one of those kind of things, like usually it's things about like a train crash or a plane crash, for example, things like that. Or it might be like there's like a maybe like a bear in the background just behind somebody. It looks like they're about to strike or something. One of those kind of things. So it's a daunting kind of fear. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Next up, we have RB Missy, and what I really like about this is she was asking me if this was going to be horror enough, and I was like, well, this is totally like a great depiction of horror, because horror can be fairly abstract. It's not always just like blood, guts, gore, horrifying monsters tearing things apart and stuff. It's also like the sense of dread. It's also the psycho the psychoanalytics behind things like that. Psychological horror is a great example. Horror comes in so many different flavors and forms, and I think that's the best part about horror. It's not all one-sided. There are many different ways to scare the shit out of people. And that to me, that's horror, It could come any way. And this is great because it's so simplistic, but it says a lot, right? So you got this skull, but it's obviously there's a little bit more going on than just the skull. The fact that like the top half of the cranium is completely removed and you see a brain inside the skull, which is not a very normal thing to see unless maybe a body's been untouched for ages, but even so, I'm pretty sure a brain would decay. So this was obviously put there. So it kind of tells you more of a macabre story the longer you investigate. And then you've got like the flowers, and there's bits of blood coming out and everything, and it just makes you think like, is it trying to say that I mean, some of the flowers are quite pretty, quite nice, look like they're blooming, and then other ones look a little bit more wilted and sad and stuff. So it's almost like saying, you know, you have many different thoughts going on in your head. Pretend the flowers represent thoughts, for example. Some of them will be beautiful and blossoming even in this terrible environment, whereas other ones will wither and die. They will not do so well. It's almost, it almost makes me think of like whenever you go, you pretty much go walking anywhere, and concrete pavements, sidewalks, whatever you want to call them, and you might see like some, it's usually weeds or grass or dandelions, little flowers that are kind of breaking through the cracks. It's almost like one of those things where it's like no matter what is going on, some things can still survive at a shitty environment. That's just what it made me think of anyway. And last but not least, we have the winner of the contest by 10 votes. Fantastic. This was an email submission by Petru, and it's a Wendigo, is what they described it as. Now, I mean, when you really look at this creature, right? Like, let's proper zoom in here. An awesomely like simple level of detail. Like you got quite a good bit of the color coding going on. You've got quite a good bit of I mean, you can really see some of the definition on the. I make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, and I'm just using words which probably aren't correct, or terminologically are in the correct spot. I feel like my brain is just not working so well. I've just come back from London. I've been sorting out all kinds of stuff like that. So it's been a busy few days for me. So I think my brain is in a strange place at the moment. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is the fact that when you really like look at this, you can see all these interesting little definition lines. You can see a lot going on in just such a simple little thing. And I'm wondering what kind of style this is, because it doesn't quite look like colored pencil. It almost makes me think of like I don't want to say charcoal or anything like that, but it kind of does give me like rubbings. I don't know what the actual term is, because I don't really do art. I didn't really do well in art classes. Not that I really took any. I think I took like the 2 that they expect you to take when you're, like 7 years old growing up, So I don't really know the exact art style that's going on here, but it really resonates, doesn't it? It just kind of, God, it does look so cool. It looks really, really cool, and it's just great. It is really, really well done. And I mean, who doesn't like a Wendigo? Wendigos, skinwalkers, all kinds of horrific cryptids and stuff like that. It's just so cool. Anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling. This has been a fantastic little contest, and I'm really glad. I'm really glad that people had a bit of fun with it, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing to be able to look at these things and kind of really dissect and understand maybe some of the thought processes going on. It's just great. I really, really love it, and we can totally do more of these kind of contests in the future. I think it's a really good idea. What I might even do for like the end of the year, so it'll be like an entire year compilation thing, where I'll get all the artwork from the year in the server, specifically probably in the art zone, for example, and I'll just pop it in a video, have a little bit of background music. It'll just be nice, just to kind of show the entire year of cool artwork that people have been willing to share. I think that'd be really cool. I'll see if everybody else likes the idea, and if so, then maybe we'll make that a thing. I think that'd be nice. Just simple background music, maybe slightly creepy, kind of like what I currently am doing, but just no dialogue or anything. Just artwork, obviously the creditations and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Let me know what you think. This has been Nate at Night. I've had a fantastic time, and I sure hope you have too. Let me know what you'd like to see next, or any other contest ideas you might have. I'm always open. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, well, I'm sure we can get you an invite. That's no problem. I've kind of changed the descriptions on the videos now to kind of simplify things for me and to make it less cluttered. So we'll see how that all goes. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much to my YouTube members and Patreon members for all the love and support. It's thanks to people like you that we can keep growing.